Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the last podcast that we will ever do in 2025. We want to welcome, thank you for taking time out of your morning, your holiday weeks when you're celebrating to spend some time with us today. We're going to talk about basically a year in review of what happened in 2025. We're going to talk about what we've seen, some of the themes, some of the things to pay attention to. Themes here at Gentian, we have a couple of them that really come to surface all the time with AGB of always getting better, and also the faith, patience, and discipline that we talk about when it comes to the planning side. So those are really the two themes that we see repopulate themselves here at Gentian for you. So we always like to start off by going big, beginning gratitude, get our minds on the positive things in life. Lots of times to be at home right now during the holidays, so we got to get positive in our minds for everything that's coming our way. I'm grateful for you. When you're watching this, when you think about how you make our lives better. If you think about how that sounds, we're your guide. We're alongside of you. We're planning for you and your family, but you make us better. We learn from you. We get to see what you're doing with your family, traditions you've created. Some of those we've been able to incorporate ourselves, right? So my gratitude goes out to you, and I just want to make sure that you know that we love and care for all of you, and that's what I'm grateful for today. So. Zach, how about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Always a lot to be grateful for, especially this time of the year. Just grateful for the opportunity to be a father and husband this year in 2025. And also similar to you, Ken, just extremely grateful for the Gentian family and to be able to come to a place every single week that I absolutely love. So that's my gratitude today.
Very nice, Zach. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Mike Mann, how about yourself?
Ken, grateful to have had a wonderful Christmas and holiday. There was a lot of travel back and forth between Virginia and Wisconsin done by both myself and my wife Sabrina. And so all safe travels in every direction. And we're looking forward to having a chill New Year's Eve, hopefully. So yeah.
Sounds like fun. Be safe, and have fun. Okay. Julie Decent, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. Good morning, everybody. I am grateful for this time of year for the holidays of spending time with family and friends, having the boys home and all the grandkids all under one roof. We feel very blessed for that. And so, if I could give a shout out this morning to our grandson Leo, who's actually celebrating his 6th birthday today. So, happy birthday, Leo. We love you. And that's what I'm grateful for, family.
Julie, that's very sweet. You inspire us to be better family people, that's for sure. So we appreciate all the stories you tell about your family. So thank you for that. Michael Birschbach, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. My gratitude today actually goes out to reflection. So for the first time last year, I actually sat down. It was actually in January of this year, but for 2024, I sat down and looked through my camera roll, looked through my text messages, seeing different group texts for plans that happen, and I wrote everything starting in January, going month by month down. And it was actually really, really cool to look back. I just couldn't believe how many things I forgot I actually did. So giving everyone a layup. It's New Year's Eve. That's the last day of the year. So I'd encourage you to try it. And thanks, Ken.
Appreciate it, Michael. I'm going to reflect on that. Just kidding. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. Reflection is a big part of the year right now as we all kind of wind up our year. We reflect on what happened, what we did well, what we can improve on, always getting better. AGB really kind of comes to the surface again. And we also have a special guest here that we want to hear what he is grateful for as well. So, Chris Doty, what are you grateful for?
Who, me? Oh, I'm sorry. No. Thankful. I was just hiding here. I'm grateful this year for our team, what they've done, watching them grow. I'm grateful for our clients. Again, as Ken had mentioned, they're sharing my family, also for the community at large. I'm just grateful for, I've been around in 4 decades now of this market retirement planning. This will be my 30th year, but I started in the mid 90s. It's now going to enter our country's 250th year here in 2026. So just celebrating, hope we can find some unity. And I'm really looking forward to good things happening for our clients and the things we can affect in our community now.
Very nice, Chris. Thank you very much. Yes, your involvement is wonderful across all the spectrums here. So we appreciate you as well. So before we get started and we jump into the different areas like Chris's corner now it's not Ken's corner, it's gonna be Chris's corner today. Zach's facts and Mike's minutes and the happenings, of course, and Birchbox planning. What I want to do is take a moment of silence, just for a short moment. We've lost some great friends and clients along the way this year, and we just want to recognize that. So let's take a moment of silence right now and reflect on those that we've lost. There's so many good memories and all that. There's so many things to be grateful for and all that. You know, whether it's family members, leaders we've lost. Some of us are attached to music in a big way. Sometimes we lost some great musicians this year. Ozzy Osbourne was one of them. You know, we've lost some people live their life through the movie screen as well. Robert Redford, Diane Keaton, Gene Hackman. And these are iconic people that really have been a big part of our lives in certain ways. So again, you know, the other side of that coin is look at all the family members that we've added this year, that you've added this year to your families with new babies and special things along the way with your family. So always want to recognize the new additions as well. So there's a lot going on. When you try to summarize 2025, it's kind of hard into a couple different areas. There's been a few surprises, I would think, as far as like the tariffs, of course. That was something that came to be when we talk about the markets. You know, the tariffs are at 90-year highs basically right now, and one of the biggest fears that we were hearing is how is this going to affect corporate earnings? And so far we didn't see that this year, right? That was kind of a big surprise where the tariffs came out in March and April. We saw the market retract itself, and all of a sudden we saw the markets hitting all-time highs again later in the year. So again, you know, expect the unexpected, and that really falls into the idea of faith, patience, and discipline because you really never know. All the big firms were talking about maybe not so great of a year in 2025, and look what happened. It turned out to be a double-digit return, which has been a great year. Now all those big firms are talking about another great year in 2026. Now, will that happen? We have no idea, right? But again, plan-based, not market-based. The planning of you, the planning of your family, the planning of your goals, that's something we can help and guide you to, right? And we use great companies to get there, right? But plan-based is really the key to all this and not getting wrapped up in the day-to-day, month-to-month markets and what they're doing or not doing. So that was kind of some big surprises. Obviously, on the planning side, you know, I'm sure some of the team will talk about it, but new tax law changes, interest rates have a lot to do with some of the advice that we give to you guys as well. Family wealth planning, always at the cornerstone of what we talk about. Also, where will I live was a big theme for 2025 here at Gentian, and also talking about just helping you become a better person in any way that could be, right? Always getting better that Chris talks about. So with that being said, I'd like to bring some of the team members on and talk about their portion, if you will. So Zach, what was Zach's facts? What do you have for us in the markets in 2025 and going forward here?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Like you said, an extremely interesting year. And just to keep the flow of things from all the webinars, we'll go through exactly where we're at for the year as of this morning. So the Dow Jones up about 13.7% for 2025. The NASDAQ just over 21%. The S&P 500 just over 17%. And to your point, Ken, what I thought was really interesting of just the analysts were about 5 to 10% off of what they thought the start of the year was going to be. But what I found really interesting was when the tariffs occurred in kind of the 90-day stretch there that we had in around April, they were 15 to 25% off of their revised revisions. So kind of reminds me of the joke that God created economists to make meteorologists look good. So to all you economists out there, just teasing. But Russell 2000, which represents those smaller size companies, 12% for the year. And then a common theme throughout most of this year, the international emerging market space has lagged for 5 to 6 years and had an unbelievable year this year. The international side was up 28% and emerging markets up 30%. Kind of three pieces that we don't normally talk about, but just really interesting to look at for 2025. Gold was actually up 66% and silver up 161%. 6%, and Bitcoin actually down 5% for the year. So those are extremely interesting to look at. Beware of being approached by investments in those spaces in the future year coming here in 2026. If we think corrections in the stock market of 20 to 30% are very severe, in those spaces, 40, 50, 60, even 70% sometimes over history can occur in those. So just be aware of those and being approached by those. Really, in summary, for on the market side of things, it just really reaffirmed our timeless pieces, which is why there are timeless pieces, but focusing on what we can control through asset allocation, rebalancing worked out perfectly again over the last 3 years with the kind of the changes in the different categories, time in the market versus timing the market, and really controlling our behavior. Once again, things did not look good in April timeframe. It looked like we were heading into another 2022 or potentially even more severe than that. And yet we ended up as a double-digit return, like Ken said. So heading into 2026, it's kind of, we talk within this as a team and really just look at a three-tenant timeless piece that we look at is that the markets and economies cannot be forecasted or timed. The best time to get money to work is when you have it, and the best time to take it out is when you need it. And really focusing on those three tenets that we talk about continually throughout our webinars is the faith, patience, and discipline to be a great investor and a great planner over time. So with that, Ken, back to you.
Thank you, Zach. We really appreciate that. And thank you all for getting through that time of March and April. It wasn't easy. It happened pretty quickly. It was something we haven't seen in a long time. And we want to give a lot of credit to you for your faith, patience, and discipline to getting through that and focusing on the bigger picture, the longer outcome, the longer term of your plan. So great job, everybody. Way to get through it. I'm sure we'll see something very similar in 2026 as well. Again, it's gonna test us, but again, the faith, patience, and discipline will get us through those times as well. So I want to take just a small moment here to talk about something big. So a small moment to talk about something big. I'm going to call it Gentian by the numbers. We put together a little bit of a year in review of 2025 of what the team accomplished this year and what the team really was focusing on for you. At the cornerstone of what we're always trying to get better for you, whether it's financial planning, better humans, more knowledge, just being aware of what's going on. 2026, there's no future facts. We don't know what's going to happen in 2026, but we stand ready to either learn quickly of any changes that need to be learned about quickly, like we saw Secure Act in the last couple of years. We had to learn that in probably like 6 days. And that's our dedication to you, is that sometimes we have a little bit of a runway to learn things for you. Sometimes they happen very quickly. We stand ready, and here's how we do it. If you look at Gentian by the numbers here, there were 122 hours of continuing education. Let me say that again, 122 hours for Raymond James and FINRA and requirements for our CFPs, our CRPCs, our WMS, all these designations and the alphabet soup behind our names, 122 hours of continuing education for you. Conferences, 14 of them, not all 1 days. Some are multiple days, but I think it comes close to about 43 days of learning to be better, learning better practices, better experiences for you to ultimately give you the best outcome we possibly can. RJ groups, Chris, RJ Chairman's Council, RJ Tech Council, Peter, RJ the COO group, Lisa, RJ Operations Group, RJ Change Management Group. She's been wonderful on the front lines, really helping us streamline some of the processes for you to make your money work as well as it possibly can. Always getting better. Strategic Coach, Ed Slott, Empowered Wealth. We did an experience workshop recently, which has been great. Raymond James Elevates. Mike is always part of groups as well. Always talking through books. I don't know how many books we read this year, but it's countless. It's really countless. 70 plus Gentian social and education events focused on around you and spending time with you. We really appreciate that. 24 bi-weekly podcasts we did this year. 16 team members stand ready to guide you and serve you and your family going forward. So one of the questions we got recently was a really good one. What are you doing behind the scenes to talk about anti-fragility of the portfolio and the strategies, right? 120 calls with portfolio managers, software research, portfolio reviews, and market outlooks. So 120 vendor calls. That probably adds up to over 200 to 300 hours of scouring investments, making sure that you have the best diversified portfolio that we can put together for you. There were two new funds research vetted and added to your core lineup this year for the strategy. So those are all things that we've done this year as well. There's probably more. I'm probably forgetting about a couple of them. Actually, I'm probably forgetting about a lot of them. But those are some of the highlights that the team were able to put together. And so I just wanted to go through the numbers on what we're doing behind the scenes. And I know that this kind of parlays good into like a good segue into Mike for Mike's minute. With all those vendor calls and the portfolio and the strategy and things of that nature. Mike, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So as always, and I really liked a comment that Zach made. He said revised revisions. And I believe that was very intentional because what these analysts always do is throughout the course of the year, they're always changing their targets to get a little bit more accurate based on the facts in which they learn. And eventually they're correct. And it's usually around the time of today, to year end. That being said, some of the analysts and what we're hearing out there, all of this, they're very bullish on the United States economy going into next year. Almost everybody has a loftier price target than what we're seeing currently. And what they usually say is something around the long-term average. Well, I want to remind everybody that in the last 100 years or so, the long-term average of the S&P 500, or what we refer to as the stock market, is right around 10%. It has only been within 2% of 10% in any individual year 6 times. So the fact that they always kind of fall to this number and this average it's very interesting. Basically, nobody has a crystal ball, and if they do, they always leave it at home because it's very uncommon for somebody to actually be 100% correct. I would say it's so uncommon that it never happens. But anyways, I want to talk about kind of why we stress test the portfolio and what we're doing behind the scenes because of the fact of all of these unforeseen events. We call it the ever inevitable unforeseen event. And the definition of such, we don't know because what's going to happen next? We didn't realize the effect that tariffs would have on the stock market earlier this year. We also didn't know that it'd be able to recover so quickly and companies would be as resilient as they are. Basically, it created an unknown. And what unknowns do is create volatility. Well, within the portfolio itself, we have pieces set aside, pieces put together so that they could find ways of outperforming even in difficult conditions. Now, the entire portfolio as a whole, you might track a little bit closer to the actual index itself. But within that, we always have something. If you need some income in the short term, we'll have something available, especially those who are in retirement. We always have this conversation. And it's not just a year-end conversation. The other comment that Zach and I had earlier as we were discussing is that I don't know why we just use year end to always benchmark this when it comes to analysts kind of predictions. It should just always be that rolling 1 year. Not everybody is retiring at year end. A lot of times it falls in a different significant date we see around their birthdays being often, or just when makes the most sense for them based on stipulations around their own job. What responsibilities do they have? So why is year end important? Well, we're always reviewing the year forward, the 2 years forward, the 3 years forward in our review meetings, our planning meetings, and we're speaking with you to know what we need to set aside and when we do need to reallocate so that when we have these depreciations that happen in such a short-term, unexpected way, we will have something available for you for the long term when it comes to being able to fund your income, accomplish your goals, things in that regard. So as far as technicals, behind the scenes stress testing, we have all sorts of programs and different analyst ways to be able to either leverage some of our partners with the fund companies to be able to actually show us what our portfolios would do as we have them set up. But everybody's strategy is a little bit different, right? So we have internal systems in Raymond James as well. And when we use our financial planning software, what we do when we stress test your plan is show when you retire, what's 3 terrible years of returns and how does that affect the outlook of the overall plan? So Ken, that was exactly 1 minute. Sending it back to you.
We have a different definition of a minute, I think, but anyways, just kidding around. But we appreciate you and what the team does for the behind the scenes work that it's important for clients to know about. So we really appreciate your hard work and everyone's hard work that goes into that. Ryan as well. So and there's more to name. So on all that, but I'll say it, the team really has a great approach there. So, Mike, before I transition, I want to talk about one of the elite designations and groups that you're part of as far as Raymond James go, the RJ Private Wealth Advisor, something you attained this year. Can you give a minute overview on what that is, what that looks like, and how this could benefit those who are watching?
Oh, 100%. Thank you, Ken. It's not very often I get an extra minute. So the Private Wealth Advisor is a program offered through Raymond James, and it's been achieved now by about 350 of the total of 6,000 Raymond James advisors. And it's a very intricate program that gets into the weeds of what does it look like from a high net worth scenario, and how can we best service those individuals as they have questions. And that doesn't just apply to those who have money that is just in a different kind of environment. It's to everyone, because the trickle down effect of the decisions that we can make and the tendencies that's taught throughout that program are things how we can best focus on estate planning, having conversations to best hear about your goals and be able to continue to support those in the best ways possible. And then finally, at the back end of all of this is how can we best leverage Raymond James? They have an incredible system of experts who we have available to us whenever we need a second opinion, whenever we need a little bit extra as far as a little bit research or just to double check something. So we have all of these safety nets and all of these experts readily available. And so it was a lot of knowledge about how we can best utilize that to best serve our clientele. So, and at the end of the day, it was just a wonderful opportunity to get to know Raymond James a little bit better. I spent a lot of time down in Florida. I mean, long enough that we probably should have, withheld taxes in the state. Just kidding. There's no state tax in Florida. Great place to retire. Anyways, Ken, that was another minute. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we appreciate your hard work and dedication to the clients, and I know that your work will be able to come through very, very quickly and see the benefit. They'll see the benefits of that as well. So, also Ben on our team, Ben Reineke, passes Series 7 and 66. So that is a fantastic accomplishment as well. There's been accomplishments across the board for the team. Those are the two highlights that come to mind in 2025. So if I'm missing something, I apologize, team. But those are the two that come to mind. So let's move on to Michael Birschbach, and then we'll get to Chris's corner to see what Chris has in store for us. Always something special. But before that, Michael Birschbach on what you have for us today, please.
Thank you, Ken. So I wanted to summarize today some of I narrowed it down to the top 5 trends of 2025. They're in no order, there's no importance to them, but what I kind of noticed when I was putting these together is there's actually some that aren't very new. So the first one, cash management still matters. Ken alluded to that earlier. Looking yesterday at some online savings accounts through some of the bigger banks, looking around 3.5%. So still getting good yield on cash and savings. Number 2, itemizing your deductions on your tax returns is back for now. So the big proponent of that we see with most of our clients is the state and local tax cap increase. That's going to stay now through 2029. There's other miscellaneous deductions that came from the OBBA bill that came out in July. Number 3, planning for where you will live is starting to become more relevant. So talked on a couple of different podcasts about the largest class of people age 65 currently existing in our population in the United States. So we're constantly encouraging our clients to explore this idea while they can make a decision before you're forced to. So we hosted, again, our Where Will You Live event this past fall, which is also available on Gentian Financial's YouTube page. Number 4, healthcare planning is dictating early retirement decisions. So for people approaching retirement who want to retire before age 65 and are Medicare eligible are looking to the open marketplace for health insurance. And some of those costs can be significant. So it's dictating a lot of those decisions for our clients as well. And the last one, investor behavior was and will continue to be the real differentiator. Zach mentioned this earlier as well. Staying the course, avoiding making emotional decisions with our investments, and trusting the plan has continued to help our clients and other investors flourish. So that's the summary of the 5. I'll pass it back to you, Ken.
Michael, appreciate the summary there. Very, very, very good as well. We could probably do a whole one-day workshop on each of those topics, really. I mean, there's so much we could go into with the health insurance planning, the diversification. Really, truly could go really deep on a lot of those. So we appreciate that. Before we round out the year with 2025 with Chris, I want to get to Julie. Julie, can you explain to us what is happening here at Gentian and what are the Gentian happenings?
I'd love to, Ken. Thank you so much. So wrapping up 2025, actually today, December 31st, last day of the year, our office will be closing at 3:30 today. We will be closed tomorrow, January 1st for New Year's Day and reopening on Friday, January 2nd, normal business hours. Our next podcast will actually be next Wednesday, January 7th. So 1 week from today, not the normal 2 weeks out. And following the podcast, we will have limited availability as we plan, have our 2026 planning meeting as a team. Monday, January 19th, we will be closed for Martin Luther King Day, and wrapping up January 21st will be our January birthday club. So we look forward to celebrating all of our January birthdays, which does include Mr. Chris Doty on the 8th. So with that, Happy New Year, everybody, and back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Julie. Really appreciate that. That was a good condensed version of the Gentian happenings. We appreciate that. So, all right, let's go. Let's move on to Chris's corner today, overtaking Ken's corner. Chris, what do you have in store for us today, please? And you are muted.
I was simply speaking in parentheses. So I just wanted to make sure everybody could see it. If you could hear it, I was miming for a little bit, but that was it. But thank you very much. I appreciate the team tremendously. Thank you all for being on the call today. I want to say this marks the 250th year of the United States. It's 2.5 centuries in an experiment that was never guaranteed to work. It wasn't easy to build, but it was worth it. The truth is, really, we didn't create this country, we inherited it. So it's really up to us now in the choice of what happens on a go-forward basis. We can become part of the problem or the solution. As we head into 2025, out of 2025 into 2026, the 250th year of our country, I've tried to simplify long concepts for you. So if you have a moment here, why don't you grab a pen and write down 3 things, see if they resonate with you. I just want you to write down these 3 things. They're short. There's a lot that goes with them. You'll probably see it from the desk of, but I want you to write these down. Maybe they'll resonate with you for 2026. You can carry them into that point. So I see you running to get a pen. I'll hold on. Yeah, you too. Can you grab that pen? Go ahead. It's okay. I see you're not writing. Anyway, the first one I have. We get a choice in 2026 when something happens to us to be either bitter or better. Every instance you run into gives you an opportunity to make this choice. I'm going to tell you why this is important, because people will show up as you are. Hold for a moment. Think about that. You show up bitter, people show up as you are. It's not what you want. I want you to show up better. I'm going to end with one thing as we come in here. It's a couple of initial. Second thing I want to talk about is another concept. Are you consumed by or are you a consumer of? So this year, rather than being consumed by media and news media that filters into your mind that's negative and constantly there and bombarding you with anxiety, be a smart consumer of the media. Be a smart consumer of your friends. If you know you shouldn't be eating junk food, don't be consumed by getting more and more junk food in your kitchen, right? Same thing with good mindsets. Same thing with media sources. Be a consumer of. It's your choice and your mind. Okay, that's number 2. So number 1, bitter versus better. Number 2, consumer of versus consumed by. And the third one I've got is fed by versus fed up. You know when somebody's fed up and they express it. Instead, look at what you're fed by. Maybe it's the Bible. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's nature. Look to the things that feed you that do this. I've got 3 letters for you. The first 2 letters are BV. Okay? BV. Fill in the third one with the beginning letter of your name. Mine would be BVC. This year for 2026, and thanks to help one of my teammates, this really resonates with me. I'm going to be the best version of Chris. So if Chris is not your name, don't put BVC. But this is a simple way to enter this 250th year of our country, to be part of the solution and not exacerbate the problem and complaining. I got to tell you 2 or 3 things I've noticed. When I complain, it doesn't solve anything. When I see problems, I can fix them. But when I'm complimentary, when I enter in gratitude, when I choose to be better in every situation over bitter, when I consume to be fed by the right things, when I choose to consume the right things, I'm the best version of Chris. I offer this simple way for you to enter 2026. Simple formula, simple words. They can be extrapolated, but that's a big word. I don't even know what it means. Just sounds good. But for you, 2025 to me, it's gratitude for you for continuing to grow this practice. It's gratitude for this team that's here that helps you every day. They pour their life into you. I see it every day. I maybe hired them and brought them on the team. They're making this company great. This, with our team, with the people that we work with the fund managers, with all the partners that we have, we truly are here to create an experience for you that's unique. And hopefully you appreciate it. I see it. I see how it is versus other teams in the industry. And I'm going to tell you, these people are special. These people are some of the best in the industry. They use it when you go to a conference. The people you see on this screen, the people you see in this office are used as examples. You are working with examples to the industry. You don't know it because you've seen just this. But I got to tell you, there's something special here. You've probably seen it or felt it. But I got to let you know, I'm grateful for you continuing to grow the firm, introducing people to us, for continuing to be fed by us. We'll try to give you the best version of ourselves so that you can live the great life you want to. That's what you came to us for. Helping you as a better person, helping you with your money, helping you live a better life, helping your family. We're all here for that. So with that, that's my corner. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to end 2025 in gratitude and enter 2026, the 250th year of this great nation, with all sorts of opportunities and all sorts of things to work on with gratitude. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that very much, and we appreciate your perspective on life. It really helps all of us, and hopefully you watching today, hopefully that helps you as well. So we appreciate the team, like Chris said. We appreciate you. We want to thank you for another great year together. Thank you for allowing us to be your guide in this journey together. We appreciate you. We appreciate your family, the introductions that you've given to us over the year, or years, I should say. This kind of fits well. It kind of sums this up. So thank you very much. And this kind of piggybacks on what Chris has said. In a world where you can be anything, this is a classic one. You've heard this one before. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. We'll see you in 2026.